Hi everyone, hope you're doing great. We're going to get back to that window in 1 minute. Big Brother is watching you, be careful. If you haven't watched 1984 by George Orwell, please do. I'm going to make this a two-parter type of video because I've been trying to upload, guys, on Alpha 7. I had my cool little GIF. I like the binary code. Ooh, that's what the Matrix looks like to me, right? That's what they say. That's why when people get all weird with numbers, it's like literally like my background. It's like, what are you so scared of numbers for? Everything reduces to binary code, basically. But we're going to go into a little bit of twofold topics. I'm going to read a little bit from my Doublespeak book, which on Alpha 7 I was trying to upload yesterday. I tried to upload 2 videos, guys, right? And the process kept getting abandoned, so I don't know what the hell is going on there. So I did leave off on page 126, and I'm going to read a little bit here just to show you that there's doublespeak even with accounting, bookkeeping. You have a lot of people learning now about the system, learning about their strawman administrative remedies, which I do also like to cover on this channel as well, guys, because this stuff, affects us all too. And I found a great video just to get you acquainted of why, doing a secured party creditor process, why that would be important, how to secure your security interest, and understanding the dynamics and researching, that is pretty straightforward. But if you need instructions, guys, in how to do a step-by-step process, like how to fill it out, right, and you need the security agreement, which you need that as the lien. That's how they get you, in these different loans and stuff. So you want to make that over your own property. And he goes into, the importance of this in a bankruptcy. Now, all you have to do is put in U.S. Bankruptcy 1933, and the U.S. is currently under one of many different bankruptcies, right? A lot of people went into House Joint Resolution 192, right? There are corresponding statutes at law to support that, and, where there is different summaries for what happened around that time. So make sure you do your own research and don't just find like one website and be like, oh, okay, and think you're going to have the whole story. So it is good to like cross-reference a lot of different things, right? But you'll get a lot of information. There is one here called Bank Fraud Mortgage. United States went bankrupt in 1933. The number, of course, 33, always coming up. Bank fraud mortgage. I do have it open. I did have it open. I'm going to just read here. Okay. So it says here that they went under bankruptcy in 1933, pledging all Americans as collateral or their assets, right, as debt slaves against the national debt to the international bankers, gave all the land to the international bankers' Federal Reserve Corporation, and confiscated and outlawed all the gold except for 1 ounce for each person, thus eliminating the lawful means, gold and silver coins, by which you could legally pay your debt. The United States also assumed legal responsibility for providing a new way for you to pay. In 1933, the United States government declared that they would pay all of your public debts, of course, with the money they receive from your labor, birth certificate, and Social Security registered number by what is known as your reserve account, worth billions. A lot of people expose that, but with great knowledge comes great power and responsibility. So you do want to be careful. I don't just, throw out all this kind of information, because some people end up going missing over this type of information. I mean, it could be all rumor and speculation, guys, but You know, I have people that care about me. I'm not scared, but, you know, I'd be sad for them, right? If it's your time to go, it's your time to go. But the thing is, it's like, it's not just that. It's, I don't want to say the wrong thing and draw the, you know, the wrong type of crowd or whatever, or have someone that's, you know, really unlearned and can get themselves jammed up. This is something more, I feel like, intermediate. And of course I take questions. I just put up a new email, which that way it won't be jammed. It's just diadash@yahoo.com. Super easy if you guys need to reach out to me, okay? We're going to try just dump in all of, you know, my YouTube stuff on here. If I put this on Alpha 7, I do have a Proton mail, but I don't use it enough. I'm going to have to like look up the password. I have a whole book on all these different passwords for all these different accounts. It's sickening. You can just hit me up on DiadaDash also, because they both work together, right? And I work as an educational charity, of course, and teaching people history, but you know, history also we can use, guys, that we can all be uplifted and understand, oh, okay, you know, I can set off certain things. I can actually do certain processes that will actually secure my position, and maybe things will go a lot easier. Not being so quick to, like, not validate certain debts and stuff. Like, you know, knowing what to do if you get denied a line of credit. Would you know what to do? Would you know how to counter offer? You know, this is stuff that I work on all the time too. A lot of people have found a passion for, which is great. But it is a lot of like following up, and you want to definitely work with people that are actually gonna, you know, not give up and throw the hands up if they get, you know, a counter offer and things like that. But if you're tenacious and you study to show yourself approved, right? I mean, what are they going to say? They're going to say that, you know, they're going to see you know your stuff. If you have to print out certain things, put it in a folder, it is what it is. And once you secure your position, and the UCC process and the UCC connection, that's why a lot of people are like opting to get this book after the straw man one, right? Because there is that connection, right? And this is just the law of commercial instruments, the Bill of Exchange Act. There's so many different acts to support it. And, you know, you can actually lower the national debt doing that and protect your assets for generations to come, right? You know, like the people who are successful, you know, why not learn what you can while you have the energy to do it? You know, this is the time people are getting their taxes. They're going to go run out and pay their collections and this and that, or buy something shiny, right? Not realizing that you could pay a past due amount and it still stay on your credit report. You know, before you even, you know, go that far, you know, make sure you validate all the debts, and if you need certain laws or letters for that, that's why I put my email. But I did offer the UCC package, which gives you instructions on how to fill it out, pretty much a security template, like everything you need to send it in. And not just that, you want to learn how to perfect your interest. So as much as, you know, I go into other topics on this channel, guys, as you know, I do like this topic a lot too. It's just I'm a little careful because I hear all kind of war stories, and then people get really nasty, and it is something that you want to be, you know, wise about, right? I'm not going to go on here like, hey guys, this is how you fill out each form. You know, it's like, you have to be mindful, know who you're dealing with, and also, this is something, I don't know who's watching, it could be agents, it could be whoever, right? Saboteurs, like we call it, saboteur agents. So, you know, all you have to do is put U.S. Bankruptcy, 1933. You're going to get article after article about this, right? So, the United States corporation government did that by providing what is known. A lot of people talk about your exemption account. The number is also on the back of the SS card, right? QSIP number talks come up. There's different ways to look it up if you need help with that. There's different steps, different things you can do with it also. So, and that's a way to prove that, you know, this exemption account indeed exists. So the bankers loan credit and not money, because they have not been any lawful money since June 5th, 1933. The exemption account is your exemption from having to pay for anything, in theory, right? You know, it's easier said than done, right? So you really got to be tenacious and be at it and be like, no, this is how it is. And the more you do that, the more you use your sword and then sharpen your sword, the more, you know, adept you're going to be. So in practical terms, this meant giving each American something to pay with. And that something is your credit, right? Give yourself some credit. There's a book called that too. Money Doesn't Grow on Trees. That's a good book. The Department of Debt Loan Payoff has discovered the credit and debt secret for you to pay. Of course, this is just, you know, their ad. So this has been active for over 79 years and hidden. It's not like something that just started yesterday, guys. Let me get, I know this is all my old stuff from yesterday. Let me get out of here. So, ask Professor Hayes. We're going to listen just a few minutes. You know, give him some time. Some people, you know, they take the time when they speak. But yeah, if you have your notebook out, you'll see why, in bankruptcy especially, why it's so important, how to secure your security interests. So this is somebody, you know, who deals with this. He is a professor at a law school as well too. I think it's West LA, he said.
Bankruptcy lawyers, bankruptcy judges are authorities for the most part on what does it mean to be a secured creditor. It's a very important concept. Whether a creditor is secured is sort of the tail wagging the dog in the bankruptcy world. A secured creditor can and often does ignore the bankruptcy. So we'll discuss why. So let's think about it. What, you know, I ask people, you know, they want to file bankruptcy, and I've said over the years, well, do you have any secured creditors? And almost always they say, you know, what does that mean? Rightly so. I don't know, what's a secured creditor? So I say to them, do you have anything where if you don't make the payment, they're going to come and grab the property? They're threatening you with that. We're going to take something specific if you don't make the payment.
And a lot of us don't realize that we forfeit our security interests in a lot of these bogus contracts. That's why learning what a contract is, how to enforce your rights on a contract, how to transfer your rights on a contract is super important, okay?
Right, that's probably a secured creditor, or at least they think they're secured. So the client at that point will often say to me, oh yeah, you know, the washer and dryer that we bought at Sears, my car, obviously, the house, obviously, but often it's, oh yeah, my wedding ring, my wife's wedding ring. You know, we financed it somewhere, and they're threatening to come and get the ring. I've had clients with gigantic cameras, jet skis, you know, the creditor who is secured as to the jet ski, the house, the car, the wedding ring are secured. What does that mean? They're secured by the asset. The secured creditors are sometimes called creditors that have a security interest in the property. In the bankruptcy world, they're called creditors who have a lien on property. Sometimes the creditor is called a lien holder. And what I'm going to talk about for the rest of this video is I'm going to use the word attach a lot. A lien attaches to property, specific property. And the fact that the lien attaches to something, bankruptcy doesn't change that almost ever. There's a few exceptions, but the lien that attaches to property in favor of a specific creditor does not go away in bankruptcy usually.
So what he's saying in so many words is that if you have a lien on your property, especially during now, if you are hip to what's going on with the current U.S. bankruptcy, it won't be affected by it, right? When you go into the Trading with the Enemy Act and all of these things, how it is written, how they can just confiscate certain things. Well, that's why some people create a whole other trust and then put a lien on that too, right? Which again, it's per your knowledge base, but if it's something that you're interested in, this is a good video to kind of give you kind of like a broader understanding. He is a professor. He has experience with this too, right? And of course he can't give you, people in the comments, they can be so ignorant. You got this douche who's like, why didn't you bring up the Sesticate V trust? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, he's saying what he can say, without coming out like, really, what's next? You need him to wipe your bum? Like, people gotta like over explain to try to flex in the comments, and it's like sickening. So it's like, alright, are you a professor? Give the man his forum and show due respect, but people always gotta like, flex on each other all the time and be so competitive. It's sickening. Like, why didn't you do this? Well, he gave you a lot. He gave you 40 minutes of his time, even breaking certain things down. Obviously, you know more than him then. You're saying all this stuff. So why did you watch his video? And where's your video? I mean, people can be really crass. That's why it's tough on these YouTube streets, right? That's why you gotta be in a Hummer almost, right? Bulletproof. So we'll let him continue. He's doing a great job.
So the creditor has the right to seize the asset that the lien attaches to without going to court, by the way. And we'll talk about that for a minute. But they can just drive up and take your car, the secured creditor. Why is that? Because you told them they could. You agreed that they can come and just take it. That right doesn't go away in bankruptcy, with a few exceptions. The right to seize the asset or get paid is binding on the trustee. And if the trustee ignores the property and doesn't try to sell it, the bankruptcy case ends, and the property still has the lien attached to it. All right, so it's not that unusual that secured creditors actually ignore the bankruptcy. Like, why spend money? We're going to either get the asset or the money, one way or the other. Why spend money worrying about the bankruptcy case? The automatic stay at bankruptcy prevents the creditor from acting. In other words, actually grabbing the property. The creditor can't grab it without getting permission from the bankruptcy judge. That's called the automatic stay. But the lien is still there. So let's talk about this lien. I mean, how do you get a lien? How do you know whether you have a lien? As you can see already, I hope that being a secured creditor is a huge advantage to a creditor in bankruptcy, because this right to seize the property is not modified by the bankruptcy proceeding.
So it's not affected by it. I'm not going to take too much of his, he kind of goes into it. He brings up the importance of a security agreement. I'm not sure if he did that in the first minute or so.
You're not secured. You're unsecured like it.
Oh, let me go back.
Having a lien on property gives you such an advantage over everybody else that if you didn't do it right, you didn't create the lien, get it attached to the property correctly, then you're not secured. You're unsecured like everybody else, which means the asset can be sold by the trustee and the money distributed to everybody else, all right? So, how do you get to be a secured creditor? Well, there's two ways. The first way, generally speaking, is called a voluntary lien. So the debtor, the person that owes the money, voluntarily gives the creditor a lien. And then there are involuntary liens. Involuntary liens are created by law, by the government, by our Congress in Washington, D.C. has created liens, for example, in favor of the IRS. You know, the state of California has created a whole bunch of liens. So, voluntary and involuntary. So, let's talk about voluntary. That's why I like teaching law. I'll tell you, because I'm going to tell you in 2 sentences, basically, how you get a voluntary lien that applies in most cases, and almost all cases, really. At the same time, I could write a 500-page book article that would flow from these 2 rules I'm going to give you. It's like a tree, you know, there's exception after exception after exception. But the 2 rules I'm going to give you apply almost all the time. So what are they? Rule 1, there has to be a written agreement that describes the collateral.
That would be the security agreement. That's why it's so important. Some people think, oh, the UCC by itself, just filling it out. No, you have to have the agreement that it's referencing, right? And there's one included in this package too. This is what I was trying to share with people. I had a few people reach out, but again, I said it was for the end of this week, so it's until tomorrow for the discounted rate. I've been using the funds to help a family. There's a few fire victims in my area. Some of these buildings are not up to par, right? A lot of people are putting a lot of strain, using different heaters and different things like that. So some people have been actually really going through it. So yeah, it's really helping a good cause as well, and it's helping you to secure your assets, to make sure that you list all your different collateral. It all started with the certificate of live birth. That's why if you already have the Strawman book, this is another one to start reading. It'll give you the 10 maxims of commercial law. It's really good. Really great investment. And as you know, the law too. I like how in this book he uses, he puts verses from the Bible. And in this one it's Proverbs chapter 3, verse 13. Happy is the man that finds wisdom, and the man that gets understanding. When you put in the work and you understand this, you realize that the Most High shows you all things. Like, seek the kingdom of God, and all things will be added to you. Because I didn't even go down this street until many streets after doing all the spiritual work, which was fascinating. So people think like, oh, he can't show you practical things. Well, contraire, that has been definitely debunked, because he's been shown to be the ultimate professor. I've been learning things privately that I would never ever learn in any college that I attended. So a lot of this stuff is hush-hush. You can see people, coming to a point to teach or whatever, but we are in a very George Orwellian society, That's why I do like breaking down that book, Doublespeak. I'll read a page of it just to get started, and we'll continue. I'm not sure what's going on with Alpha 7. It was just a little glitchy. We will see, guys. I have another one, if you want to learn about common law, the Community Training Manual. They all just complement each other. I have many different books, but if you like audio, you need, video style teaching, check out Professor Hayes, What is a Secured Creditor, and Why Does It Matter?
Usually it's called a security agreement, but it's a document. I give you a lien. I agree that if I don't pay that loan back, you can grab my card, sell it, and take the proceeds. All right? So there has to be a written agreement, with some exceptions that I might mention in a minute. And Rule 2, the agreement has to be properly perfected. The creation of the lien has to be properly perfected. That is very complicated. For you lawyers out there, if somebody comes to you and says, I'm going to loan my brother-in-law money, do the paperwork, it's going to be secured by his business, his liquor license, run the other direction. I would personally never take a case like that, because there is so much chance that I wouldn't do it exactly right. And if you don't, you're not secured, you're unsecured. All right, so that this perfection, what does that mean, perfect a lien? The general idea is that perfection is doing something, almost always filling out a form and recording it somewhere. The idea behind the form and recording it somewhere is to tell the world that there's a lien, give notice, so that the next guy who's going to loan money on the same asset can find out whether there's already a lien or not. So there's an agreement that is properly perfected.
There you go. How is it properly perfected? By being recorded. So I have one here if you need it, guys. It'll go into where you would want to send it. It has a security agreement. It has a promissory note to everything you need and the verbiage to file it, and all you have to do is record it. You can record it with your status correction, your national paperwork, some people do an estoppel, however you learned it, you can just incorporate it in it. So check out that channel, really good. I'm going to read a little bit from this book, because in case I want to, because I have to go to work soon. In case I want to upload the same video and just, two birds, one stone kind of thing, because instead of doing a separate one, and I learned a lot about doublespeak in the industry with the legal system, right, with legalese and insurance and all of that too, right? And you're going to get down, when you study the world of the insurance companies and you see where the money is being generated, especially when you learn more about accounting principles, right, guys? But I'm just going to read a little bit from page 126, because that's where we left off, and we're going to start off with profits and losses. Let me make this a little bigger since there's like not much going on there, right? So, I'm reading from my Doublespeak book, and this is profits and losses in the insurance industry. Okay, kiddies, we're just going to read a little bit. The accounting practices of insurance companies are a great and wondrous mystery. In few lines of business, it is possible to make lots of money while losing money at the same time. When it comes to understanding insurance accounting, by comparison, understanding Einstein's theory of general relativity is child's play. He has other examples. Let me just get cut to the chase. In the early 1980s, property and casualty insurance companies claimed they were losing money. Lots and lots of money. These are the insurance companies that cover damage to or theft of your property or protect you in case you damage someone else's. Medical malpractice rates, casualty insurance, suddenly went up so much that some doctors gave up practicing medicine. Just that sentence alone, guys, should be highlighted. Especially when people don't want to believe you when you try to expose the medical system. What was going on in the 80s? We were all in school at the time, right? That's scary. That's like, that makes you think, like, what the hell is that from? Like all the different jabs, the different operations. I don't know. You try to explain to people these things happen, they don't want to hear you, but yeah, that's an interesting statement. Daycare centers, small towns, and small businesses couldn't afford the rates for liability insurance anymore. This was all because the insurance companies said they were losing so much money. In fact, the property and casualty insurance industry claimed that in 1985, the industry as a whole lost $5.6 billion. The big rate increases the industry claimed were not only justified, but absolutely necessary if the industry were to survive. So after losing money for years, the property and casualty insurance companies started making money again in 1986. But how much money the companies had been losing and how much money they were making depended on how you figured profits. You think that something like profits should be easy enough to figure out. Profits are what's left after all the bills have been paid, unless you run an insurance company. Insurance companies don't talk about profits. They like to talk about operating income, an amount that includes all the income from insurance premiums plus interest and dividends earned on investments. I think this is how a lot of people's accounts too are probably getting siphoned off. I still got this little thing going on with that hair. My little hair. Because you have to give your social, right? When you get insurance. Right, let me put this down a little. This is good enough. Messing up my whole operation. I know. My whole little backdrop. You like that? I should do a whole video on how to make really cool backdrop for cheap. That wasn't much. These are just some fabrics and some lights. You can do like amazing things with fabrics and lights, right? I didn't even know I was going for 33 minutes, guys. I'm going to let you guys go. My hair, I thought it was going to be a little better from yesterday, but haven't been as camera ready as I would like to be. That's okay. Teacher is teaching. So, even in the insurance world, right, like I was saying, they ask for your social. So a lot of things happen by the back door, right? It's like we're supposedly self-insured already, right? When you look up the amounts and know your QSIP number and start, doing all that, right? So they probably skimming, right, or putting in different escrows, right, or mirroring different accounts, right, with the same name. Makes me think, right? Because, and they label it operating income and not profit, so they can sidestep a lot of things that way, right? So that is interesting, guys. So I'm learning a lot just from, you'd be surprised. So they like to talk about operating income, an amount that includes all the income from insurance premiums plus interest and dividends earned on investments. From this amount, the insurance company subtracts all claims that are paid, plus general expenses, taxes, and dividends paid to stockholders. According to this method of determining profits, the property and casualty insurance industry as a whole had an operating profit of $4.5 billion in 1986, a welcome improvement over the operating loss of $5.6 billion the industry suffered in 1985. But you need to remember that you are dealing with accounting when it comes to determining profits, and what you think is plain and simple is never the case with accounting, and especially with accounting in the insurance business. If insurance companies were to use another method for determining their profits, they would be an entirely different picture of their profitability. Which I'm going to leave it there, guys, so I don't forget. I'm going to continue on. That was just until page 27. Fix my little area. I'm going to let you guys go. I just wanted to read a little bit of that, guys, so I can also put it on my Alpha 7 media. And also just show you a little bit of this video before I head it out. You know, little tea time, little daytime tea time. And just to show you different books that I use and different references that have been helping me. So I've been learning a lot from this gentleman. And of course, recording all your paperwork is great. Putting a security agreement is super important. It's not just, filling it out without having that. Listing all your different forms of collateral, right? And then you'll be good to go. Then that will give you, it's really important, it's an important step to secure your position, as you can see. And he talks about the importance of it in the bankruptcy proceedings. But if you're even more adept and you know, right, what he's saying, what he's not saying, you can pretty much understand why filing a UCC was so important because of the bankruptcy too, because you're putting your lien on it. You're showing that you're the secured creditor over your own collateral, right? We need to stop giving our credit away, stop giving, because when you sign, you're already supposed to acquire your rights on these instruments. And he goes into attachment, which is really important when it comes to a UCC 3. Filing an attachment. So this is stuff too, guys, that I like going into. But again, there's only like a certain, group that really goes into it. And a lot of it, it can be on shaky grounds coming on here talking about this stuff too. I'm more comfortable, even though I seem like, oh, I'm so talkative, I'm so this and that. When it comes to like really important stuff, I do like dealing with people privately too, And like I said, I have a special promotion this week, guys. It ends tomorrow. I'll leave my PayPal. You can PayPal me. This is what it looks like on PayPal. Hopefully my thing's not, am I too big? Probably. The picture on PayPal looks like that. Or I have Cashapp. It's DianaDash on Cashapp. My picture is there too. Email me. I do have truenorth144@protonmail.com. DiadaDash is pretty full on Proton Mail, so if you can just hop over to Yahoo, that would be a lot easier because it's clear, it's a new account, and it's diadash@yahoo.com. Super easy to remember, it should be. Shoot me an email if you want the, secured party creditor package. I have that. I have many different things. Things to validate debt, what happens if you get denied a credit card, how to counter offer in that situation. So I'll I'll drop different videos going into that, guys, because I want everyone to wake up from this George Orwell, this whole construct where they pit men against women, women against men. We got all the channels in the world for that, right? I kind of went into that yesterday. When they say war, they mean peace. They talk in opposites, right? Did you ever have opposite day in school, right? They talk in opposites, guys, so everything they say the opposite is true, right? So, yeah, if you haven't checked out George Orwell's 1984, kind of told you a lot, guys. Really, really good movie, educational. It's based off a book. If you want, just check out U.S. Bankruptcy. All you have to do, put that in the Google Boogle, and it will tell you a little bit of, the background about it and why, when you start hearing these buzz terms, secured party creditor, UCC, things like that, you see books like the one I just showed you, you'll see why, how it will make you impervious to certain actions. It'll give you a really strong position. But this is great. And just remember number one commercial maxim: a workman is worthy of his hire, guys. So when we ask for small contributions for our time, that is also law too. Because, some people are like, just give it to me for free. And it's like, no one would tell you to work for free. This is like a passion. This is estate planning. This is, just something that I do part-time. I have many part-time things. I'm very multifaceted, guys. Right? Just because that's just how I like to move. And I'm interested in different topics, too. We go into holistic health. We go into, my truth media. We're going to hit all kind of truth. So check out for me on Alpha 7 Media. I'll put this in my playlist. So if you want to watch me read from this book or just listen, I'm trying to make an audio book out of it the best I can. I know I get sidetracked, whatever, but I put them in sequential order on Alpha 7. So if you're watching me on Alpha 7, I hope you're all doing well. And you can go back to those. So sometimes I'm going to throw my wild card videos. But the next one I do on this book, I'll just read straight from the book. Maybe I'll record the words. Maybe I won't. Usually people like when I do that, so I'll do it like that. Alright guys, have a wonderful day. This is my PayPal if you want to just support my channel, show a little love token. I would so appreciate it. It goes to good causes always. I put the link in the description below. If you want the UCC package, guys, it will tell you line by line how to fill it out, give you the security agreement, everything you need to get you started. All you got to do when it's all set to perfect it, the best thing to do is record it after, so you'll be all set, be in the public record, and you can give whoever notices of that, you can give whoever copies of that, and if you have any issue, that will be super helpful. I didn't mean to go on for 42 whole minutes, but that's what happens sometimes. So I'll let you guys go. Check out this really nice professor. Be careful out there when they say peace, this, that, or, they have your best interest in mind. Just be careful out there. You're going to get pulled in a lot of directions. Some people don't even want to do this process. They get all stupid. But it's like, they could be unlearned. They could be just trying to sabotage your walk. You don't know. I learned to do my own research and let people believe what they want to believe, right? Because a lot of people, they're trained to speak and doublespeak, and they don't even realize, they don't even know the time that they're living in, really. This is a really good show, book actually / movie. So check it out. 1984. Where's my little GIF, guys? Oh, we'll just leave it at that. 1984. Oh, that one was cooler. I should have used that one the whole time. Well, thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Reach out to me if you need any of that. Remember, a security agreement is super important. Research the bankruptcy and why we're dealing with negotiable instruments, and you'll learn why we're using debt instruments is because the U.S. is currently under another bankruptcy. So that's why we do the things we do. Maybe just giving people a little bit of understanding. I hope I didn't confuse you more. It is what it is. That's why sometimes I don't go down this arena, because not enough people have heard about this topic, and it can get really confusing for them. But if you need more insight, if you want a little bit of coaching and you need some templates, hit me up and I'll take care of you. Have a great day. I'll talk to you all soon.